Hi, guys. Welcome back to At Home with Holly. My name's Holly, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. So, today we are going to be doing what is our last round of major planting for inside. So, it is about 3.5 weeks before my last frost date, my average last frost date. And so, now is the perfect time to plant cucumbers, melons, bush beans if you're going to plant them inside. You don't want to do pole beans inside, but bush beans. Now, these are all things that we could start outside, but in my area, I have cucumber beetles, a lot of them. And so, if we can get them a little bigger and then transplant them outside, you don't want them too big. Anything past 4 weeks, it's really too long for these kind of things to be inside, but we can do them at 3 or 4 weeks. And so, we're going to get these outside so they're nice, big, healthy plants so that they're not sending out the pheromone that attracts the cucumber beetles while they're in the peak season. So we're going to get things started. So let me walk you through. I'm going to get my tray set up first. I'm going to get 32 cell tray set up, the pots filled, and then I'll bring you back here. So I'm going to use the Pro Mix Mycorrhiza HP. I'm going to add a little bit of Trifecta Plus. I'm going to pre-moisten it with some water, get all the trays filled, the whole tray filled, and then I'll bring you back here and I'll walk you through the seeds that we're going to plant today. Oh, and when we're done here, we're also going to do the rest of the list outside. It is pouring and storming and raining. So there's some stuff we can't do, but we are going to do the fertilizer spikes for the evergreen arborvitae. And I'm going to also just see where we're at outside. I may have started a new project around the chicken coop because it's mud season here and no time like the present to start something new. So I'm going to take you guys with me when we do all of that. But first things first, let me get this filled up with some soil. So while I get this all mixed up, we are going to be going outside later and we're going to do the fertilizer spikes, and we're also going to be able to finish the landscape fabric that I'm putting down for a new project around the chicken coop. And I'll take you guys with me while we finish that up today. But for right now, I'm mixing up my soil. I always like to pre-moisten it, add some Trifecta Plus, which is an organic slow-release fertilizer from MI Gardener, get all my little cells filled and get them labeled so that I'm just ready to go and plant in an assembly line style. Okay, let me take you through some of the varieties that we're going to be starting together today. So some of these seeds I got from their hybrids and I got from Johnny's because either I was looking for something that was the high producer, or maybe cucumber beetle resistant, or maybe something that dealt with the heat a little better so that it didn't get bitter. So the first thing we're going to do is the zucchini. So I'm not actually planting any zucchini for myself this year, but I am planting one zucchini plant for my neighbor who it's her first time growing. So we're going to do one green zucchini. It's a hybrid. It's called Magda. So we're going to do one of those. We're also going to do one Corinto, which is a slicing cucumber. It's another hybrid from Johnny's. And this one, I believe, was a high producer, didn't get bitter. And so just a good slicing cucumber. So I'm excited for that. The next one is another hybrid. It's a pickling cucumber from Johnny's. Again, doesn't get bitter, high producer early on, so that I can try to beat those cucumber beetles. I still do a lot of heirlooms as well, but I might do those in the fall. So for the spring, I will do my hybrids to see how it goes. So that's the pickling cucumber. And then an unagi, I'm not sure, greenhouse, the longer style cucumber, which is also a hybrid as well. So those are the 4 from Johnny's that we're going to be doing. And then from MI Gardener, that one's not supposed to be there. From MI Gardener, we have a whole bunch of, we'll do the Baker Creek ones first. So I've got 2 from Baker Creek. Sweet Passion, which is a mini size melon. All of the melons that I grow on the trellis, and they're mini personal size melons. That's just perfect kind of size for Olivia and I to go through and be able to eat. And also the weight of them on the trellis, the cattle panel trellis, works really well. So we're going to do the Sweet Passion melon, which is so delicious, so sweet. The Kajari melon, which if you guys have heard the story of the Kajari melon, it was almost completely out of existence. And Joseph, what was his name? I can't remember right now. Baker Creek has a story on their website, but he went actually to India and found the seeds and brought it back into circulation. So Kajari melon, it looks like a honeydew, but it tastes like a cantaloupe. So it's really sweet as well. And then I have a whole bunch of ones that I haven't tried before, but one that I have tried before is a sugar baby watermelon. I have a little bit of trouble getting watermelons to grow because they take so long to grow. And in my area, it's kind of hit or miss whether we'll get that many warm summer days. So sugar baby watermelons will grow and ripen in Northwest Ohio really easily. And again, personal size. And then the rest of these, besides the last one, are personal size melons from my garden that I have not tried before, but Luke was talking about them. And, I'm a sucker for his live when he talks about different varieties. So the Chanteray melon, I'm excited about that one, Chanteray melon. Then we also have the Pie de Sapo, I think it's what it's called. Or Peel de Sapo, I'm not sure. So we're going to try that one. All of these are supposed to be really sweet and just have different textures. And they all kind of mature at different days. So some of them are 75, 80, some of them are 90 to 110 days. So I'm excited to be able to have a continuous harvest of all different types of cantaloupe. So this one is a honey rock cantaloupe. This is a little shorter, only 80 days. So I'm excited about that one. Delice de la Table, I'm not sure. This is an 85-day variety, and it says it's more common in France, but I grew these last year. Delicious. And then Prescott Fond Blanc, which is another variety. This is 85 to 95 days, another French variety. So I'm excited to have these. And then the last one that we're going to planting today is not a melon for eating. We're going to do gourd melons, birdhouse gourd, not melons. Did I say melons? Gourds. The birdhouse gourds. And so we're going to be doing these. These are bottle gourds, birdhouse gourds. You grow these, let them dry out completely, haul them out, and then they make really fun birdhouses that you can paint. So Olivia and I are going to grow some of these on her trellis, and I thought that would be really fun too. So I've got everything labeled. I'm going to go ahead and get these planted. I'm going to put 2 seeds in every single one of these because they're all new seeds and they should germinate really well. But sometimes, they don't survive transplant really well or stuff like that. So I'm going to let 2 grow in there and then I'll thin them maybe, or I'll plant them all outside and let nature thin them out there. So let's get these plants. I'm going to put you guys on time lapse. These are all going to be planted the same way basically. So I'm just going to take, I'll show you guys an example. I'm going to take these Sweet Passion melon seeds. This year also we're going to be doing a lot of seed saving. So we're going to refresh our seeds that we have on hand because we're going to save seeds. So I've got 3 spots for Sweet Passion melon. So I'm just going to put 2 seeds in each one. Now I am going to wait to put all these down until I have them all done so that I know where I planted and where I didn't. But for the sake of just showing, I'm just going to push them down just a little bit, cover them up, water them in, and then we're going to get them on a heat mat. And that's how they're all going to go. So I'm going to put you on a little bit of a time lapse and we're going to get planting. I'm so excited, you guys. Melons are my favorite. As I'm talking, maybe I won't put you on a time lapse yet. Melons are my favorite thing to eat out of the garden. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're all my favorite. I like eating lettuce because it tastes better. I like eating green peppers, bell peppers, because you can't buy the way they taste out of the garden. Tomato. So I guess they're all my favorite. But my thing that gets me the most excited is when I go out there and there's a melon. We grow them and we tie them. We put these little mesh things around them and tie it to the trellis so that when they're ripe, they just fall off and are waiting for you. And it is so fun to go out and find all these little melons waiting in their little bags for you. I don't know why. It just makes me so happy, like a little kid. So we're going to get all these planted. I'm going to plant, I think, like 3 plants on each side of the trellis because they will just take over. Any more than that, I have found that it kind of crowds them out and they don't grow really well. But we'll put a few on each side of the trellis, let it climb up the side, and Now I need to stop talking to you guys and focus, otherwise I'm going to put seeds in the wrong one. And then I won't know what stuff is. Okay, I'm going to get to planting now. I'm going to quit yapping. Guys, look at these seeds for the birdhouse gourds. How crazy are they? Whoa. I'm super excited about those guys. Okay, they're all closed up. We're gonna plant these, water them in. Have any of you guys ever planted or painted birdhouse gourds? I am so obsessed. I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful and so cool. I'm picturing like a row of them all along our fence row that Olivia and maybe some of her friends paint. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay. Everybody's tucked in. Let me get these watered. You guys, the only thing left that we have to start from seed is our sunflowers. And I got my Sunflower Steve ones in. I'm pretty excited about the Van Gogh Fantasy Mix. And really, that's best direct seeded. I might start some in a tray and some direct seeded, but those are best direct seeded normally. So onto the heat mat. You guys, I almost forgot to do the bush beans. So we're going to be doing our Blue Lake bush beans. These are one of my favorites. They're very productive, very easy to grow, and we grow a ton of these every year. I usually do one planting in the spring and one in the fall. Last year I did not grow the fall planting though, because I forgot to do it. So this year I'm gonna make sure that I grow the spring and the fall. These seeds are a little bit older. I might just use up what's left in this package because I have newer packs. So I'll just kind of randomly put 2 in some of these. So, okay, we're gonna get these planted. And again, I would not do this with the pole beans because they need to have room to groove and grow and climb on things. And then they'll end up climbing on each other if we didn't get them planted out in enough time. But for bush beans, it's totally fine. I have planted them, direct seeded them into the ground before. I do have a problem with birds eating when I direct seed the seeds that I plant. So this year I'm going to try to transplant as much as I can so that I don't have the bird problem. I want to live in harmony with the birds. So I want to get what I need planted and also feed the birds plenty of things like bugs that they can eat out of my garden and bird seed in their little feeders. Just don't want them to eat my plants. I know they will eat some of them, but however much I can avoid is what I want to do. So I'm gonna get these all planted, get them watered in. And then get these on a heat mat. They don't really need a heat mat, but it'll just speed it up. They do like warm soil. So I'm not gonna cover them with a humidity dome, but I will put them on a heat mat. Okay, everybody's in. Now time to water them in. All tucked in. So we've got 20 evergreens that go all the way down here. These are arborvitae. I'm gonna put some spikes in between them and then reapply the mulch so that the weeds are a little bit more suppressed so they can grow big and strong. Privacy fence, living fence. So I've used Trifecta Plus to fertilize these arborvitae, and this year I'm going to use the Job's spikes to do it. I don't think one way is better than the other, but since I laid down a really thick layer of cardboard and then the wood chip mulch, I figured this year I would try to just do the spikes. And they're really easy to use, especially on a day that it's been raining for 3 days, to be able to just use a rubber mallet and just really gently tap them into the ground. So I'm excited to have this part done. So I noticed this chewing around my tree. So I'm hoping this stops the little bunnies from chewing on my apple tree. And check the others. Looks like the 2 apple trees have it the worst. So I'll get this other apple tree covered up too. Okay, this last outside project that we're working on today, this chicken coop, since we walk to certain areas all the time, like we walk to this back door to clean it out, we walk to the egg box to collect eggs, we walk in through the door and we feed and water them, obviously. Here's a picture of what it looked like before. Ignore the dead grass, that's from where the run used to be, but it never had the landscape fabric around the front, and so it was just, we were wearing a pattern down in the grass, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do back here. Maybe that's for another year, because those arborvitae are going to grow up and end up shading out anything I would potentially plant back here. So I think I'm going to stop the landscape fabric on the sides, but let me walk you around and kind of show you what's been going on the other side as well. So back here is still grass, and I do take all my grass clippings and I add them to my compost bin to create compost. So I'm fine having a little more area to collect grass, but I also want to put the landscape fabric down along this side because we'll be walking up to this bed, obviously, and then I want to continue it along the front where that bucket is and where the piles of strawberries that we removed from the bed that I still need to transplant are. So I'm going to take you with me while we go along this edge right here and finish up putting in the landscape fabric. Olivia and I did this first section together, but now I'm going to take you with me while I go ahead and get these staples down. Well, this is the perfect time to do a project like this because it has been raining on and off essentially for a week. You know, April showers bring May flowers, right? Well, it also makes it really easy to put in landscape fabric or the fertilizer spikes or any of the things that have to be put into the ground. Our ground here is really hard, really hard clay normally. And so this is the perfect time for me to do these spring projects. So no time like the present. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these last spikes of the edging laid down so that it can be flat. And then on another day when the grass isn't so wet and I don't mind using the wheelbarrow back and forth, I will bring in some landscape rocks or mulch. I'm not really sure if I want to use the wood mulch like is around the arborvitae or if I want to do the rocks. But either way, we'll bring something in on a day where it's not so muddy and I'm not going to tear up the lawn by using the wheelbarrow back and forth. So I'm excited to have this next part done, especially since the stakes went in so easily on a wet ground day like we have. So I'm excited for this area to be mud free and we can do it up really cute like a cottage garden style. So I'm excited really to think about all the possibilities of what to plant here. Planted our first violas. They're a little sad. I'm going to water them in even though it's raining and go inside. But this is now all done, ready for us to add some pavers and plants and either stones or wood chips. All right, it's raining, we got to go inside. That's going to do it for me today, guys. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you guys so much for all the likes and the comments and the shares. I appreciate them so much. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have 10 more planting and growing to do, and I'm excited to do it with you, to take you guys with me. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye, my friends.